Hello YouTube, my name is Candice Moll and I am here to bring you some Australian accent tips to help you with your Australian accent or dialect. So today I have decided to do a series called Lost in Translation. I currently live in the United States, I'm in Los Angeles, and I've been here for a number of years now. But one of the things that I come up against on a regular basis is that some phrases that are really natural for me to say are translated by the person listening to mean something that is completely different to what I intended. So this is going to be beneficial if you are an American who wants to understand your Australian friends a bit more, or even if English is your second language. Maybe this will help you if you are currently living in Australia or if you visit as well. So I'm going to run through a list of 10 lost in translation phrases. These are all phrases that I use on a regular basis, or I've had to adapt because I realized that using these phrases here was actually causing me a lot more trouble than it was worth. So I'm going to tell you the phrase and then also how it's interpreted. Okay, so number one, the one that I just can't seem to shake is, how did you find it? So this phrase actually means, did you like it? For example, someone might say to me, I tried a new yoga class, and I would say, oh, how did you find it? And then their response always seems to be on Google. Yes, also, did you like it? How did you find it is another way to say, did you like it? Number two, how you going? Or how you going? If you decide to drop the G. How you going is one that I found really surprising that people didn't understand this, but an American friend just explained to me the reason why this is so confusing is because in the United States, it would seem that you would say, how are you doing? Or where are you going? And we seem to have combined the two phrases into how you going, which means, how are you? Often if I say, how you going or how are you going, the response that I get is by car or I'm not going anywhere. Not what I was asking. I was asking, how are you? Other ways to say this is also, how are you traveling or how are you trekkin? Trekking, if you imagine you're trekking up a hill, another term for walking, I suppose. So if someone asks, how you going? How are you going? How you traveling? How you trekking? Or how's it going? Basically anything to do with movement, they're probably asking, how are you? Just to make it easy. Number three, how did you go? How did you go is one that I say all the time, and it actually means, how did you perform? If you want a literal translation. So for example, someone might say, I had to take a test today, and then I would say, oh, how did you go? Meaning, how did you do? Or, I tried a new class today. How did you go? Meaning, how did you do? Or even, how was it? Number four, this is a fun one. My shout. If I say to you, I'm shouting you, or I'm shouting you, I'm not going to shout at you, I promise. It means I would like to pay. So my shout or I'm shouting, let's go out to lunch. My shout, that means I would like to pay for your lunch today. It's very friendly, I promise. I'm not going to yell at you. Number five is one that I just learned quite literally about 2 weeks ago. I had no idea that people didn't understand me when I said this. A return ticket. If I say, I bought a return ticket to Australia, that means round trip. It's not only the return journey. A return ticket is a round trip ticket. So I've been using this here for years. No one told me that they didn't know what I was talking about. I think that most people would just smile and nod. Return ticket is a round trip ticket. Number six, this is an important one. If somebody says thank you, the way that an Australian often will say you're welcome is by saying that's okay. Thank you, that's okay. I'm not mad at you, I promise. That's my way of saying you're welcome. There's a lot of ways to say you're welcome. And it actually translates the same the other way. Like when I say thank you to someone and I get, that's very rude. I realize it's not, but same idea. Number 7, lucked out has the opposite meaning in Australia. In the US, it seems to mean got lucky. So if you lucked out on something, it means you got lucky. In Australia, it means the exact opposite. Lucked out means out of luck. Very confusing. This is a fun one too. I'm flat out. Number 8, flat out. I'm not lying down. If I say I'm flat out, people think that I'm having a nap. It means I'm really, really busy. I'm flat out working. It means I've got so much work that I just can't stop. Imagine, what was the cartoon? Roadrunner? Was it the Roadrunner and Coyote? You know how when they would run really fast and they're doing this, but then like they'd lean forward into the run? Flat out. Number 9 is one that you might have heard if you've done a bit of traveling. And it's a word that has a very different meaning in Australia. We call flip-flops thongs. So if I say I've lost my thong, I am not talking about underwear, I am talking about a shoe. It's a flip-flop shoe. The thong song was very confusing to me when it first came out in Australia. Also, I was very young at the time, so I hadn't watched a lot of grown-up friendly TV from the United States, so not a clue why that person was singing about his thongs. Didn't understand. Number 10, this one is really important. Just like in languages, you can often tell somebody's meaning based on their tone. The phrase, yeah, right, can mean so many different things, but it often means I see. So for example, it can mean I don't believe you, but it's all about the inflection. So if you tell me some information and I go, yeah, right, that means, come on, are you telling me the truth? But if you're giving me new information and I go, yeah, right, that means I see. I agree with you. So I often get into trouble with this one because someone will be talking to me and I'll go, yeah, right. And then they'll go, no, it's true, as though I didn't believe them. But then it can also mean, wow. So if you gave me information and I went, yeah, right, that means, wow, I didn't know that. So 3 ways of using the phrase, yeah, right. But it is often, if it's deadpan, yeah, right, and it kind of drops down at the end a little bit, that means I see or I agree with you. It's kind of like going, huh, yeah, right. So there you have it. 10 phrases that are often lost in translation. Might even come up with some more. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey guys, before you go, you need to check out my other YouTube channel. It's called G'day Let's Play, and it's made specifically for kids. So if you have preschoolers in the house, click on over to G'day Let's Play, plop them in front of it, and it might result in them speaking with an Australian accent. Or if English is your second language, or you just want a new and fun way to practice your Australian dialect, watching kids programming is a really, really good way to practice. Also, it would help me out if you clicked subscribe on the G'day Let's Play YouTube channel, because I really need some more subscribers. Okay?